Happy Monday, everybody. I'm just popping in today. I wanted to talk about some physical reminders that I have here in my environment that I use to get me on track on a rainy, yucky, kind of dreary Monday morning after a really busy weekend. and it was one of those mornings where I kind of had to call in all of the stops to kind of motivate myself and center myself. Partly my own fault. There was a lot of like unexpected things that came up this weekend that took me out of my typical routine, which was good, very good in many ways, but also it took me out of my typical routine. So on Friday morning, I attended a last minute early morning networking event, which was great, but because of that, I didn't do my morning meditation. And on Saturday morning, I was super tired from a really long day that included volleyball practice and a birthday party for my daughter. And so I slept in on Saturday morning and then rolled out of bed and went to meet some friends, which was also very good and exactly what I needed. But guess what? I skipped my morning meditation and my self-care routine on Saturday morning. And then on Sunday morning, we have volleyball practice. So I was up early, doing the commute with my daughter and running some errands. And yeah, guess what? I skipped my morning routine of meditating and taking good care of myself. So this morning I woke up and definitely felt out of sorts and out of alignment. And, the weather doesn't help. The season is kind of busy and crazy, but still I want to be aligned and present for the work that I need to do and for what I need to get done and for who I'm meeting with today. And so I use my environment to help me get back into that place. And I think this is a really good conversation to have about some of the things that I use, some of the things that you can use in your environment to help you show up the way you want to show up. Ideally on a daily basis, but especially on those days where life gets away from you and you really need to reset. And some of these things I use more regularly than others. Today was a day I'm literally using all of them. All of them. I pulled them all in. I needed them all. So just a couple ideas about ways that you can use things in your physical environment to help you get back into alignment, stay in alignment, move forward in alignment, whatever it is. So today, and this is something that I don't do every day, but I have some candles lit. For me, when I light a candle, it's like signifying a sacred space, a sacred moment, kind of a boundary around what I'm focusing on. And it really signifies calling my attention to something. So I don't light my candles every day. I know some amazing entrepreneurs who have a really beautiful ritual that includes whenever they sit down to do their work, they're lighting a candle. And I love that. Usually I forget. But on days when I'm feeling out of alignment, it is one of the tools that I use to help create that space that I need and remind me that I'm focused on something by using the candles lit. I also have some diffusers diffusing. I have been trying really hard to use my diffusers more often in the house. I love essential oils. Aromatherapy is my second passion, very close behind Feng Shui. I really see that using essential oils is a way to shift your personal frequency and the frequency of the home. And so I'm taking a concerted effort to use mine more often and be really conscious about what energy I want to create in the space and choosing essential oils in order to help create that energy. So a lot of times my typical, my go-to essential oils are sweet orange. I use a lot, and I use rosemary a lot. And sometimes I'll blend the two of those. To me, those are kind of a mix of protection with the rosemary, and it also really helps with mental alertness, keeping you awake, kind of. And the excuse me, the sweet orange is really representing a little bit of uplifting energy, joy, and abundance. So those are my usual go-tos. But this month I've been switching it up quite a bit, and I've been bringing in some of the more seasonal oils. And cinnamon is the one that I use today. And cinnamon is very uplifting. It's kind of holiday flair, and it's also a very good abundance oil as well. So that's what I'm diffusing in my office today, and also out in the living space. I also have essential oils. I always have essential oils right by my desk. So this is spearmint, and this is what I've been using most recently to wake me up. Just kind of taking it's just like the best. It's a gentle, minty oil. I actually started using this after taking a workshop with a kinesiologist who's based out of Australia. Her name is Carrie Rowett. Carrie Rowett. And the workshop was so good. I took it at a time where I was feeling incredibly stuck in life and in business. And the kinesiology work that we did and the essential oils that she recommended, it really shifted things for me. And so spearmint was one of the oils that she recommended based on what was going on in the group, as something to help you move forward gently. And it has worked amazingly. And so spearmint essential oil has been on my desk ever since then. And I do take a big sniff of it, or put it on me, or put it on a cotton ball and sniff the cotton ball probably a couple times a week as I'm working on something that needs my focus and attention. So highly recommend spearmint. One of the other things that keeps me on track, this actually is an idea from my business coach, who is Tash Corbin, is this timer. So you can set this timer based on whatever time block that you want to work on something for. And it's really helping to keep me on track. I usually set it for 15 minutes at a time and work on something. One of my big challenges, one of my mindset blocks in the work that I do, is that every project is giant, and it's going to take a long time, and it's going to really be overwhelming. And so I'm working personally on breaking things down into much smaller bite-sized pieces and just moving forward in incremental steps. So that timer has become sort of the thing that I use to keep me moving forward. And if I can get 15 minutes of something done, I feel so good about it. And it's way better than having been stuck there saying it's going to take me hours to do this thing. Now I've actually done a quarter of an hour, and I've made progress on it. And it's quite amazing how much I'm actually getting done in those 15-minute increments, and how much more time I'm using, because I used to look at my, what was open in my day and think, oh, I don't have enough time to start that. So I wouldn't start it, and it would just loom overhead for a long, long time. And now I start it anyway, and I get 15 minutes done towards it. Even if it's just like a little bit of research on something, or jotting down a few notes about something, at least it's moving me forward. And the taking action part of that has been huge. So for me, that timer is a reminder to keep moving forward and to take action daily on things. And it's a really powerful anchor for me at the moment. As is my wall calendar. I don't have that up right now. I actually took it down over the weekend and was working on it. But the wall calendar for me is the big picture of what I'm focused on over the next couple of months and the next couple of years. And when I get distracted or off track, or pulled into something else, I can look at that calendar and remember kind of where to go back to, where to begin again. And so timer and calendar are two big productivity hacks, physical productivity items that I have in my space that help me create the momentum in my business, which is really important to me. Crystals are another thing. I don't actually have any on me right now, but they're behind me. I have some citrine and quartz, some chrysocolla, I think it's believed, lots of throat chakra colors and crystals, also some tourmaline for protection and some selenite for protection. I kind of keep those behind me, but on days when I'm struggling, I will actually choose a crystal or 5 or 10 and hold them or place them in front of me, and those will help keep me grounded and keep me moving forward. Yeah, sometimes when I am going out into the world, I will actually choose a crystal to take with me if I'm doing like a speaking event or other things, which, I do a lot of speaking on the camera, but standing up in front of a group is still something that is intimidating to me sometimes. So I will like load up on crystals that are, really just boosting to my energy and to my confidence. And those really, really help me. Something else, I'm just going to turn this. I have a little heater. I guess I'll add that in. I have a heater. I like to be warm. I like my feet to be warm when I'm working. And so that is something I think that is a great physical enhancement in my space to just keep me comfortable, so that I'm not like getting too cold and walking away, or going to, to just be distracted by the temperature of my body. So I'll add that one in since I just had to move it. My pen. So I have everybody has that certain pen that they like to work with. This is I like these zebra fine liner pens. I just love them. Actually, these are not my favorite pens. They don't make my favorite pens anymore. There were these amazing pens that I used in high school. I couldn't even tell you the brand, but I could tell you what it looked like, and I could tell you what it felt to hold it, and I could tell you how it wrote, but they don't make them anymore. And so this is not the right shape, but it writes pretty well. And so for me, having a pen that writes smoothly is really important. It feels very professional. It feels like it allows ideas to flow through me. So having my favorite kinds of pens nearby is really helpful. I also, behind me, have a stack of, or a pencil case full of colored pens and markers that are all like the ones that I like to use. And I'll pull those out every once in a while to work on floor plans or to do other things. So having those types of tools that make me feel really good when I'm using them are another way that I anchor myself into the work that I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about isn't really work related, but it definitely affects my work, and that is vitamins and supplements that I take. So before I had kids, I had a great routine where I just had my vitamins and I took my vitamins, and I was very on track with that. And I don't know, maybe there's some moms out there who understand this, or this has happened to you as well. But once I had kids, my own self-care routine became a struggle, and I was more concerned with keeping little lives moving forward. And so I'm really good these days at reminding them to take their vitamins, but I still always forget to take mine. And no matter how, like in Feng Shui terms, it's not ideal for me to have vitamins all over the counter or all over wherever, because they're not that pretty to look at. But for me, having them out is a physical reminder to take care of myself, to take the vitamins, to remember for myself to take that. I still work on a day-to-day basis. There'll be days where I'll forget for days in a row, and then I'll start to feel it, and I'll be like, oh, that's right, I'm going to take the vitamins. But out of sight is out of mind for me when it comes to supplements and vitamins. And so for me, in my kitchen and in our dining room, the vitamins are right there for everybody to see. And it's not pretty. I tried to put them in a nice basket. I tried to contain them. All of those things that are just kind of good, design ideas. But they have to be visible for me to remember to take them. And so they are out. And when I forget to take them, I definitely will start to feel that. I didn't take them this weekend. And so that's another thing. Not only did my meditation practice kind of get pushed to the side this weekend, but the supplements and all of that, they didn't get taken, and it didn't happen. And so I know that's part of the reason why when I woke up this morning, I was kind of in that fog and not really motivated and inspired to sit down and get to work right away. The weather doesn't help for sure. I am definitely a person that responds to the sun. The sun has not been out, so that's a factor for sure. But finding these little or placing these items in my environment become anchors to call me back into the the self-care practices that I know I benefit from, and the motivational practices or the productivity practices that I know that my work and my clients benefit from. So these things are silly little things that I have around me, but they help me to remember to show up in a certain way. And, you know, like that timer, I am classic for starting a project, and I'll work on it for hours and hours and hours until I'm completely burned out and drained, and not remembering to step away and take a break, or not remembering to stop what I'm doing and go be present for my family. And so that timer is just a great reminder for me that, okay, time is up. Go do something else for a minute and then refresh and then come back to it, or close it up and go do your next thing that you need to be part of. The candle helps with that too. Like, I know at the end of the day when I blow that candle out, that's going to signify the end of my work week. I'm a classic person for keeping tabs open on my computer and actually not fully shutting down my computer at the end of the day. That's something that you can do for sure. I'm still working on that myself. But if you can make it a point to create an end of day practice that allows you to shut everything down and disconnect so that you can go do something else and show up fully for that next thing, it's a really powerful practice. These are some of the things that I use in my own home to keep me focused, reminded of the priorities, and in the right energy. So think about your environment, your workspace, your home. What are some things that you can put in place that will help you show up the way you want to show up, and create the energy that you want to have for your life, for the work that you do, and remind you to take good care of yourself as well. I hope that helps. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Take care.